Hey friends, it's Miss Nicole from Moon Township Public Library, and today we're going to be reading some fun stories to get you grossed out. We're going to talk about the things that not everybody likes to talk about, like spitting and poop and stinky stuff, right? I mean, poop is pretty stinky, yeah? What are some other gross things? Maybe some burps, yeah? Maybe some farts or toots. Yeah. Maybe bad breath, earwax, boogers, all kinds of gross stuff, right? Maybe trash. That's kind of gross. We wouldn't touch any trash, right? No. And we don't stick our fingers up our nose, right? No. No, no, no. And we don't breathe in anybody's faces, do we? I certainly hope not, right? So, we're going to go ahead and read some really great grossed out stories, okay? The first one we're going to read is my favorite. I love it. I think it's so much fun and it's so stinky. This one is called Poo in the Zoo. And this is by Steve Smallman. And it's illustrated by Ada Gray. Poo in the Zoo. Young Bob McGrew was a keeper at the zoo. Taking care of animals was what he loved to do. But it wasn't always fun because Bob was the one who had to push a cart around and scoop up all the... What do you think it is? I see some. Is it this? Is it that? There's some over here. Pooh! Oh my goodness! There was tiger poo, lion poo, prickly porcupine poo, plummeting giraffe poo that landed with a splat, gobs of new poo, bouncy kangaroo poo, and a dotted line of droppings from a fat wombat. Look at all that poo. Flying bits of bat poo. Goodness, who is that poo? A smelly pile of panda poo sitting in the sand. And Monkey always threw it just as fast as he could do it, so no one had a clue where his poo might land. Bob felt dizzy. He was much too busy with big jobs and little jobs all around the zoo. Then he slipped on a banana, cleaning up after iguana, and it ran off in the flippy-floppy way iguanas do. There goes that iguana lizard. Whoa, and there he is slipping. Oh no. The lizard caused hysteria in the zoo cafeteria, climbing on the counters, eating everything he saw. Creamy cakes of every size, pepperoni, pizza pies, popsicles, potato chips, and sandwiches galore. Iguana's bulging belly started wobbling like jelly. Oh, he groaned. I don't think I could eat another bite. Then his greedy little eyes saw some sparkling fireflies, so he gobbled them up too because he wanted something light. Iguana said, "Uh-oh," as his bum began to glow. He pulled a funny face and plopped a poop upon the floor. But Iguana's jaw soon dropped when he saw what he had plopped, and he ran back to his cage where Bob was waiting by the door. Look at that. That is a green one. That's kind of gross, huh? I don't know if I'd want to see that. That looks like radioactive poop. Like maybe you could get some superpowers from that. Bob turned around and saw something glowing on the floor, a pile that glowed so brightly it was lighting up his face. I've never ever seen poo so glowing or so green, he whispered to himself. It must have come from outer space. The word soon got around that the strange poo Bob had found, and people flocked to stare at the amazing glowing poo. Then a man in a cravat and a sparkling blue top hat said, "Hello there, Mr. Zookeeper. My name is Hector Glue." There's all the people going to visit it. And there's Hector Glue with his cravat and his hat. I'm like you, said Hector. I'm another poo collector. I collect exotic poo. Oh, I have quite a big selection. I want the world to see how amazing poo can be. Please climb aboard my poo museum. I'll show you my collection. Says it's poo-tastic, once in a lifetime. Glue's amazing poo museum. Kind of gross. I don't know if I'd go into a poo museum. Ooh. I have a pile of Yeti poo and some that's like spaghetti poo, a smoking pile of dragon poo. It's very hard to find. A mammoth poo and ice. Oh, and this one's very nice. It's a massive pile of poo that's from a dinosaur's behind. I've got a huge poo, tiny poo, dusty poo, and shiny poo. Every kind of poo that you could ever wish to see. Well, I've got some dodo doo-doo, but not glowing poo like you do. Oh, I simply have to have it. Will you sell your poo to me? Look at all those poos. I think that's the dinosaur poo right there. I think that's pretty fun. Pretty gross, but pretty fun, right? Is that fossilized poo? Yep. So Bob sold the poo to Happy Hector Glue, and he spent all the money on a robot pooper scooper. And it rolls around the zoo, and it picks up all the poo. And for Bob and all his animals, life is simply super duper. Now he doesn't have to do any more pooping. Poopin' scoopin'. Right? And all the animals look happy too. So there we have it. Poo in the Zoo by Steve Smallman. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I know I did. I love that it rhymes too. All right, our next story is called Dog Breath, The Horrible Trouble with Halitosis. This is a book that I used to love when I was a kid, and this is by Dave Pilkey. You guys might know him from Captain Underpants. He did Dog Man. He's done all kinds of fun stories. I love him. I know many of you love him. So here is a picture book of his that I think will really get you grossed out, and it'll make you laugh. It's called Dog Breath by Dave Pilkey. Sorry, my words. It's like a topsy-turvy day. My words are not where they're supposed to be. There once was a dog named Hallie who lived with the Tosis family. Halitosis was a very good dog, but she had a big problem. Halitosis had horrible breath. When Halitosis opened her mouth, horrible things happened. You see that Mona Lisa painting? She's even plugging her nose. The fish died. The leaves left the tree. It died. The wallpaper's peeling. When the children took Halitosis for a walk, everyone else walked on the other side of the street. Even skunks avoided Halitosis. But the real trouble started one day when Grandma Tosis stopped by for a cup of tea. And Hallie jumped up to say hello. Ooh, look at her gross green breath. Right there. Right here, getting all over Grandma Tosis. Mr. and Mrs. Tosis were not amused. Something has to be done about that smelly dog, they said. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Tosis decided to find a new home for Hallie. The children knew that the only way they could save their dog was to get rid of her bad breath, so they took Halitosis to the top of a mountain that had a breathtaking view. Breathtaking. Bad breathtaking? They hoped that the breathtaking view would take Hallie's breath away, but it didn't. There she is, breathing her green, gross, stinky dog breath. Next, the children took Halitosis to a very exciting movie. They hoped that all the excitement would leave Hallie breathless. Do you think it worked? It didn't! Finally, the children took Halitosis to a carnival. They hoped that Hallie would lose her breath on the speedy roller coaster. There they are at the movie theater. There they are at the amusement park. Oh boy. Her breath is spreading to everybody behind her. Oh no. Poor Hallie. But that idea stunk too. The plans to change Hallie's bad breath had failed. Now only a miracle could save Halitosis. Sadly, the three friends said goodnight, unaware that a miracle was just on the horizon. What could it be? Later that night, when everyone was sound asleep, two sneaky burglars crept into the Tosis house. The two burglars were tiptoeing through the dark, quiet rooms when suddenly they came upon Halitosis. "Yikes!" whispered one burglar. "It's a big, mean, scary dog." "Ah, don't be silly," whispered the other burglar. "That's only a cute little fuzzy puppy." Do you think? The two burglars giggled at the sight of such a friendly little dog. "The dog couldn't hurt a fly," whispered one burglar. "Come here, Poochie Poochie," whispered the other. So Halitosis came over and gave the burglars a nice, big kiss. Slurp! Right across the face, a big... The next morning, the Tosis family awoke to find two burglars passed out cold on their living room floor. It was a miracle! She grossed them out so bad they passed out. The Tosis family got a big reward for turning in the crooks, and soon Halitosis was the most famous crime-fighting dog in the country. In the end, Mr. and Mrs. Tosis changed their minds about finding a new home for Hallie. They decided to keep their wonderful watchdog after all. Because life without Halitosis just wouldn't make any sense. Sense, like something you smell, like a scent. I love that story. I think that's super fun. And that turned something that Hallie didn't like about herself and something that her family wasn't super fond of or super happy about. They turned it into something to celebrate and something to be really proud of, right? So maybe that's a clue for us. If there's something we don't like about ourselves, maybe try to flip your perspective and look at it in a way that can make it your superpower, right? If it's something that's not harmful and it doesn't hurt anybody else and it doesn't hurt you, I think maybe we should embrace those things, and they're our superpowers, right? Isn't that kind of cool? Like Hallie's bad breath. It ended up saving the day. Many, many, many times. She even helped the cops. So, that's going to lead us into our last story. Do you guys spit at anybody? I really hope not, because that's really gross and that's really mean. And very rude, right? We like to have our manners. But maybe if you taste something you don't like, you might spit it back out on your plate, which isn't very mannerly either. But, you know, sometimes you gotta spit something out, right? Or maybe you spit after you brush your teeth. That's a good reason to spit. You spit right into the sink. You don't spit on the floor. You don't spit in anybody's face. That's not nice. This story is about spitting seeds. Watermelon seeds. And it is a hot summer, so watermelon is really yummy and it cools you down, right? This story is called Peter Spit a Seed at Sue, and this is by Jackie French Kohler and illustrated by John Mandan. Here we go. Peter spit a seed at Sue. Mary Lou and I were bored, and so were Pete and Sue next door. Over they came, and we were four. Four bored kids on a boring porch, watching a bug crawl across the floor. There they are. Just then we heard a fella yellin' he was sellin' watermelon. Melons, icy cold and sweet melons, what a perfect treat. Just the thing for kids could use to chase away their boring blues. We chomped and slurped and gulped and burped, then Peter spit a seed at Sue, which hit her cheek and stuck like glue. Susie spit one back at Pete, which stuck right on his seat. Pete spit too at Mary Lou. How could I help but join in too? Come on, I yelled to Mary Lou. You pepper Pete, I'll splatter Sue. Gross. Then seeds were flying everywhere, zipping, zinging through the air. Seeds were plastered to our clothes. Seeds were stuck between our toes. Seeds were tangled in our hair. Seeds got down our underwear. Look at all those seeds flying. Gross. Off we ran across the yard, spitting fast and spitting hard. The laundry fluttered in the breeze as seeds buzzed through the air like bees. Soon our sheets had polka dots and Dad's shorts sported leopard spots. So silly. We could still hear that fella yelling, come and get your watermelon. He was in the village square. Seconds later, we were there. Gobbling up a new supply, we slurped him in and let him fly. Off we swooped across the square, raining seeds down everywhere. Oops! One hit a traffic cop. We thought for sure he'd make us stop, but then he got an impish grin, grabbed a slice, and plunged right in. He was spitting too. A campus bus rumbled up and stopped, and out of doors and windows plopped 60 children shouting, "Yum, watermelon, give us some." Before we knew it, everyone was clamoring to join the fun. Mailmen, nannies, grocery clerks, barbers, butchers, soda jerks, teachers, preachers, hard hat guys, even dudes in suit and ties. Look at all those people trying to spit some watermelon seeds. Through the thick and thin of it, we spit and spit and spit and spit, till from a limo stepped the mayor, who fixes us with a steely stare. Everybody put your hands on your hips. Enough! She boomed. Just look around. What have you done to our poor town? She look happy? No, she does not. It was a sight, I must confess, a spitty, spotty, dotty mess. We bowed our heads and took the blame. We swore we'd never spit again and vowed to clean it up, but then... Look at all those seeds everywhere. How gross is that? A baker in his cart went by, and with a twinkle in her eye, the mayor grabbed a whipped cream pie. Gotcha! She cried, and let it fly. She's throwing pie. I wiped the cream out of my eyes and looked at her in great surprise. She laughed and picked up 2 more pies. Pie fight! Cried Pete. Yahoo! Me too! He grabbed a pie, and so did Sue. That's real gross to have pie all over you, huh? Then pies were flying everywhere, zipping, zinging through the air. I turned and grinned at Mary Lou. How could we help but join in too? I think that's such a fun story. And I hope you guys had fun getting a little grossed out with me. I know I'm kind of grossed out. Now I'm a little weird about eating watermelon. I'll be fine in a few hours, right? Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!